Hello, loves. You are amazing. There's no doubt about that. I'm Katie Gates, and thank you for being here. If you are new to the channel, welcome. Hello. Thank you so much for joining me. Okay, so we know that change can be scary. At least that's what we've been told forever. I've heard that phrase countless times, and I'm sure that you have too. And we've also heard that change can be difficult. It's scary and it's difficult and it's all of these things. And it's very rare that we hear that change can be very easy. But today I want to tell you that change, in fact, can be very easy. How is that? Well, here's how. Whenever we decide to make a change, right? Because to change, we have to make a decision. So in order to change, it takes making a choice to do so. So it's just like a right. You have the choice to get up out of the bed in the morning. You have the choice to go to work or stay home. You have the choice to buy this from the grocery store or not to buy this from the grocery store. Change is the exact same thing. However, from what I've gathered in my experience in change is that we put this huge label on it, right? Like this grand label on change. And therefore we place more anxiety on ourselves rather than just walking into change itself. So in other words, we're attaching all of these labels, these big, scary, creepy, frightening labels onto change without realizing that if we would just stop doing that or stop listening to what everybody else is telling us about change, and we just be bold and courageous to just walk into it or to embrace it, we'll come to find out that making big, bold changes or even small, tiny changes is much easier done and said. Much easier done and said. And that's simply because it's all about our mindset. Change is the same thing as deciding to get in your car every day and to drive. We often fear change because we can't see the end result, right? We often fear change because we can't see the end result. We have become comfortable where we are, and we feel that if we were to change or to choose a different situation, you know what? I'm familiar right here. I don't know what's going to happen over there. So we are familiar in the place of knowing or in that comfortable place. But change requires not knowing the end result. We don't know what's going to happen, but do we know what's going to happen when we get in our cars and drive? We don't think about, an accident could happen. I may not make it home to my family. I may end up in the hospital. We don't think about all of those things when we want to go, to the grocery store, or we want to go see a movie or out to dinner, right? Because we love all of those things. Ladies, we love all of those things. But we don't stop and think, okay, on my way to the restaurant, I may not make it there because I could have a head-on collision with something or someone. We don't think about that. However, when it comes to making changes, whether they are grand or big changes or small changes, we begin thinking about, okay, this can happen, right? Or that can happen, or maybe this won't go right, or maybe I'll just fail altogether. We start thinking of the negative things first without giving the positive things a chance. So change is basically a choice. Any other choice, the same choices we make every day is the same choice that change is also. We make a choice to change or to stay the same, right? We make a choice to watch this movie or not watch that movie. We make a choice to stay home on Saturday night or go out to a movie or out to dinner. We make a choice to go into this career field or not. Everything in life, even life itself, is a set of choices. We have to make the decision whether or not we want to do this or do that, or go here or stay here or go over there, to know this person, to not know this person. Change is in fact the same thing. I did pull up the definition of change just for our hearing, for just complete understanding, because it's always good to go to Google, right? Google loves us and we love Google. So let's pull up the definition of change and see just how easy it is. The noun form of change means the act or instance of making or becoming different. So, in other words, if you are stuck or stagnant over here and you make the chance to move from over here to over here and release yourself, you have made a choice to change. Ooh, that is so good, y'all. You have made a choice to change. That's just how easy change can be once we release the chains or the shackles that have attached themselves to us. We start caging ourselves or locking ourselves behind bars when we start thinking of all of the negative things that can go with change. How many fingers do I have? I don't have enough finger and toes to count the amount of negative labels we attach to the word change, when in fact change is a word just like any other word in the dictionary. And it's not as hard as a lot of people make it out to be. I can assure you on that. That's why it's very important not to listen to everybody who tells you their story on how change was so difficult and, oh, I went through this and I went through that and this happened and this person did that. Yes, we know that those things happen, but those experiences could have been purposed for that person in order to teach them a lesson, something that they needed to go through in order to learn or to change for the better, to grow even greater, right? Because we're all different. We all have our own lessons to learn. And yes, while some of those are familiar lessons, they're still individualized to us. So you may not learn the same lesson or receive the same message as your best friend, although you two went through similar things. It could have been a tragedy or, childhood experiences. Your lesson and your best friend's lesson is going to be completely different, although your situations were similar. So yes, there are some tall tales and short tales about change, and we often take those things and we apply their labels onto ourselves, and therefore we attach a lot of anxiety to change itself, and we don't give it a chance. We demolish it before we can even give it a chance. And if we would just walk into it, and I have to be honest, change does take courage, because you are stepping into the unknown. But that, my friends, is another way of saying you're stepping out on faith. Because when we step out onto faith or step out in faith, we're stepping out into the unknown with surety that everything is going to be okay, or more than okay. Everything is going to be great. Because that's how we should be talking to ourselves. Not just okay, but great, phenomenal. So that's what change is. It's just stepping out on faith. Although you don't know what's going to happen over here, we are to have faith or surety that no matter what happens, it's going to be great and I am going to make the best of it. So yes, it does take courage, because a lot of people do find change fearful, especially when we're comfortable in a space and place that feels, so warm and comfy. You're telling me you want me to leave that to go over here in the snow when I'm a Floridian? My bones just aren't strong enough for the cold yet. But you want me to leave my warm and comfy and place of just pure sun and just feeling good, and then you want me to go over here into the deep snow and the cold frigid weather, and that I'm not familiar with that. That's just not That's just something very new. I'm just going to stay over here because I'm safe here, because I know what the outcome is going to be tomorrow. Over here, I don't know what's going to happen. So therefore, I'm just going to stay here and I'm going to just be, instead of being free over here. Because change, believe it or not, is another way for freedom. A lot of us stay stuck or bound to things that just keep us there. We're here, we're breathing, we have a heartbeat, but we're not living. A lot of us are miserable in jobs, that we've labeled as dead end, but yet we're choosing to stay there because we're comfortable here, when all it takes is making a choice to change. And then a lot of the times we attach, well, I'm at this dead end job, I don't have the education for a new job, and I just don't want to take out more student loans. But where there is a will, there is always a way. And that is not just a saying. If we really want it, we will go get it. Because we can either lay down and die, or we can get up and make a choice to make changes. And so change is really, really not as difficult as people say or the world has made it out to be. It's simply just making a choice. It's making the choice to change, to do something different, to grow, to excel, to expand. Because it's very easy to stay the same. It's very easy to be mundane and stay stuck and bound to fear, rather than to just releasing it all and stepping out on faith. So the first way to release change, because I'm going to probably share 3 today. The first way to release change is to accept that change is going to be a little bit, uncomfortable. Not creepy, scary, or creepy crawly, or, frightening and deep, dark places and holes, but it's going to be uncomfortable. It's like putting on your Spanx, for the first time, and you're pulling those suckers up and you're like, man, I know you're supposed to snug and tuck, but you are difficult to get on and even more difficult to pull off. But I love Spanx. So it's a little bit of discomfort there, right? So first we have to accept that it is going to be a little bit uncomfortable, right? And 2, we have to release the fear and the anxieties that we've either placed on ourselves or we have allowed other people to place on us. Get a tablet, write down all of those fears. Right. And then scratch them all off. Scratch. And number three, we have to embrace the idea of change itself. Because we can't walk into something without embracing it. We end up becoming miserable. And when we become miserable, it makes it much easier to say, you know what, I'm going back over here in that comfortable, familiar place over there. But if we embrace it and make the best of it, we're more apt to say, you know what, hell or high water, I'm going to push through and change anyway. Because it's all a choice. At the end of the day, like everything in life, change is a choice, friends. It's a choice. So like I said, it's going to be uncomfortable, like trying to squeeze into a blouse that's too small. I did that this morning. But it is doable. So just take it one day at a time, and don't ascribe labels onto the word change that should not be there. Walk at your own pace and just do it. Get it done, right? So change is easy. It is easy and it is doable. Like I said, you are amazing and awesome and all of those fabulous things. There's no doubt about that. I am Katie Gates, and thank you for being here. I appreciate you so much. I wish I can just pour my heart out and you can physically see just how much I appreciate you. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Hit the notification button right here, or the subscribe button, and make sure you also hit the notification bell, right? Hit the like button. Like I said, hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it. Because when you hit the like button, that pushes the content out there. So souls who that want to see it or that need to see it will see it. And just know that I appreciate you more than you know. I truly, truly, truly do. And yes, I want to grow the channel. So once again, I love you. I'm Katie Gates. And if you are new here to the channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye.